there's a possibility that she could still be alive.
There's such an intense female element.
Hello, everyone. I'm Astrologer Val Evans, and thanks for watching Astrology and Crime. Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot is going to join me tonight. We're talking about Hannah Kobayashi, who was traveling from Maui to New York City on November 8th. And between November 8th and November 11th, there is just a lot of confusion as to what happened to Hannah, who is currently missing. So due to a tight layover, she missed her plane out of LAX, and that was headed to New York. So she apparently spent the next 2 days in California with little information on her whereabouts except for a visit to the Grove Mall about 25 minutes away from the airport. So it is said that she was traveling with her partner and they broke up. It just all seems like a terrible time of things that are coming in for her that were unexpected. That would be Uranus, which represents breakup. So we're going to see quite a bit of Aquarius and Uranus in these charts. And if you're new to astrology crime, we look at crime charts and also the charts of the missing to see if we can get clues. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, Angel, for moderating. And let's see who's here. Hey, Meg. And yes, today what are you saying? Hopefully Val isn't practicing and forgetting to hit the live button this time. I know that was awful. And at least I got, I got a few minutes of practice there until I realized. So thank you all for waiting. Natalie, nice to see you. Midwest Girl, Beach Butterfly, and Nora's here. Great to see you, Nora. Nora, you had some good clues. You were talking about a tunnel because Scorpio is tunnel. And of course, we were talking about basements last time. When you go to Mexico, you don't see many basements. So it's probably some tunnels that you're going to see. All right. So, hey, Shauna, nice to see you. And Hanani, Martin, aloha all. Got to say, I'm really baffled by this case. She disappears. Her father passes away. And now it's said she's absconded to Mexico. Maybe it's just me, but it ain't mathing up. I agree with you. Hi, KK. Yes. And thank you so much, everyone, for hitting the like button. Now I'm going to bring in Amber and we're going to try to figure out if we can get some new clues. Hi, Amber.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. I was looking at some of our last two shows on Hannah, and it was so weird how we were talking about your experience with someone that's close to you and how we were talking about how she went to Mexico, or
they were trying to get her on a flight to Mexico. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So that theme of Mexico right off the bat we were talking about, and sure enough, she's headed down there. Now the latest is, I believe it was November 12th, she was seen on camera. And what is so, at least from my perspective, outrageous is that police think that she just went to Mexico on her own accord, based on CCTV that they saw, and that's that. There's nothing they can do, and they're claiming that she has a right to her privacy, so they're not going to, it seems, pursue much further. Now, you never know. Maybe they are, and I believe there's a private investigator that is on the case. I don't know what you think about him. Have you looked him up? He is... Well, you know what? He might do a very good job, but just seems like kind of like the Hollywood version of a private eye. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Yes. So let's go over some of the things we were talking about last time. We got some from the tarot. We got some clues about gypsies. And then you got a pre-spread too, and I forgot to put it in the presentation, but maybe you wanted to mention that. I think you got 2 devil cards. Was that right?
I did. This pre-spread tonight was wild. I have an oracle deck that I used along with the traditional tarot, and the first card that came out actually was the Judgment card. And I said, what was her motivation? That was my question. And Judgment is about a life change. This is about a new path. It's has a little bit of karma. And I thought, I'm thinking about karma, something karmic. And then the Devil came out, which is bound and tied, and it's karmic. It's Capricorn, it's Saturn energy. So I thought, let me get to my Oracle deck and get some clarity. And I couldn't believe it. The Extremes card, which is the equivalent of the Devil. So they're similar, if not the same energy of being obsessed or, restricted and, that Saturn sort of energy. And then I got the Sovereignty card, which does quite remind me of the High Priestess a little bit with that spirituality and that sort of gypsy energy. But sovereignty as a word is freedom. It's unrestricted freedom. So I thought that was really interesting, those four that came together.
Yeah. It seems on the one hand, maybe she's making a poor decision, but on the other hand, there's influence involved. And
Yeah.
so we got a lot of Pisces. We got especially you got so much female energy and also an older female as well.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a look at some of the texts that her mom, I hadn't seen these,
Oh,
but let's see here.
I don't think I've seen these either.
You might have, but what I did was I took the timestamp for
Oh,
when she got them, and there it is. Did you see this one? I have stuff of value, and mom says you can go to the police, to the DMV. There are resources, and apparently coming from Hannah, I just need to rest and I'll think better.
hmm,
And yeah, I'm really confused. Says I suppose this is mom.
hmm,
And then supposedly Hannah, but it's very complicated.
hmm,
Mom, did you get catfished? Matrix underworld shit girl, which is not really how Hannah talks, from what I understand.
hmm,
That says this is way beyond me. Then, Mom, did you get catfished by some dude you were talking to on the internet?
yeah.
And she says, no, we met. I can't explain all of it. Just please be open with this, please.
Hmm.
So crazy with
Chris-
Hannah at the top there.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether I should put LA for that or Maui, since it
Ah,
was mom. I wasn't sure if this was coming into Hannah's phone.
right.
So I just did Maui,
Yeah.
and we can take a look at that. I've got a few funny clues that you are going to be like, how the heck did you get that? So we'll see how
I
the
do
card.
also. There's a
Did you?
theme here that I thought, dare I say, yes.
Yes. Yeah, me too. So we'll see how that works out. All right. Now I'm going to go to this next chart. Now, this is the chart for the time that she's talking with supposedly Hannah. And Aries is the rising sign. So that would mean that we would look at Mars. And I also wanted to look at the fifth house too, because if the person reading this text is the mom, you'd look to the fifth house, which is the daughter,
Right.
the child. And so we would then look at the sun, and the sun is in Scorpio. So Scorpio is a big, big clue.
Mm,
And the thing about this is that, remember how when we were looking and predicting the storm, the hurricane, and we were wondering where the hurricane would go next.
right.
Well, we would look to the blue lines. So there's a couple of, I think, clues here, but it
Mm,
looks as if a daughter, which would be the sun, the fifth house lord, is going towards the 12th house, which is a foreign country.
ah,
And Neptune is something that's coastal. Moon next to Neptune is a very foreign, or it's a very famous foreign place.
yeah.
And she's just going straight there. So, kind of crazy. There's also a square to part of fortune showing that there is not going to be some success. And right on Regulus, too, which is going to give us some
Mm,
things like maybe words like camp, words
yeah.
like king or queen, or even those words in Spanish,
Yeah.
something to keep in mind. So
Hmm.
with her headed straight to the 12th, what do you think?
Well, that's also, isn't it disappearing? The moon in
Mm,
the 12th missing,
yes.
like
Yeah.
disappearing, right?
Missing, disappearing, as well as being under the influence. There could be a hidden cult. There could be some kind of
Mhm.
drug type of influence there.
Yeah.
And so I really think, and maybe you can answer this, but based on the chart that I'm seeing just from this, I think she's in danger. I do
Yeah.
not think that she just went off to go start a new life.
Yeah. And the other 2 I don't, I actually have this question for you, but I
Mhm.
know minimal about the aspects, but what is a quincunx? Because I have the quincunx card,
Mhm.
which talks about complexity and puzzles and things not making any sense. And is that sort of descriptive of what that aspect is, if
Well,
you
the
see that?
quincunx, what's showing up, I'm not really seeing any quincunx at this
Yeah.
second, but it can be what I see it as is it's an inconjunct, it's a stress.
Yeah. Yep.
So, that would be some kind of a stressor, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that in the next couple of charts.
Well, in terms of just the themes, and it came along with the Pisces card. So there's more of that Pisces. And I did think it was interesting. Somebody just said this in the chat. I noted this earlier on this particular quincunx card. It has this Japanese symbol, and someone said she's part Japanese, which I didn't know. I don't know if that's accurate, but
Wild.
I noticed that earlier and I thought, what does that mean? Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that there is some kind of connection to spirituality, leader, follower kind of
Okay.
energy, because the sovereignty card, I noticed a theme of white robes in a lot of these cards. And I also saw a theme of nakedness. This is the thing I didn't know if I should say, but
No.
nakedness.
Yeah, I think it's sex trafficking, I really do. I think
Yes,
she's yeah, I
yes,
really think it's all around her, and it is influencing her. She might think that she's going, it's a ruse, you can
yeah,
make some money, we would like you to be part of this business, and then the
yeah,
next thing you know, she goes missing, so
yeah,
oh, it's the devil is at work here,
yeah.
and
This card too, if you can see that it's like a man's back. And this is the devil card of this deck with extremes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I guess, my question would be, do you think that would answer, "Is she in danger?" Or should we do another one? Is
Well,
she in danger?
I mean, I would say that is it's risk. She's at risk because of the devil, the extremes card, the judge. There's just an energy of high risk, very high risk. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, Jody's saying, but she's not missing, she's alive and well in Mexico. Well, that's what the police are saying, and basically, I think based on just seeing the CCTV, it
Mhm.
depends on what you consider missing, I think. People are or her family sure thinks she's missing,
Yeah.
so that's one thing. Yeah, and Nora is wondering if there's proof of life. We don't know yet, but, Angel, you think that those messages are not from her, and thank you, CR user, sending positive thoughts and prayers to her and her family.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so Hanani said, "I did a little search of local newspapers, and Hannah is mixed race, Japanese, Caucasian, what you were referring to, Amber.
Yeah.
Local papers stated that Hannah has a sister, and as an adolescent, she lived with her father and a stepmother. Thank you for that."
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So yeah, she basically the 12th house with Neptune, she's idealizing something. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's where I belong. That's where I'm going."
Yeah.
She could be saying something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I think everybody was just we were getting that there's a possibility she could be alive, but I think everybody was just shocked when we
Yeah.
found that out.
Yeah.
Now, the question I have next is, can police find her?
Mm.
And so, apparently, they saw her, but can they find where she is next?
Right.
And so That's one question I'm gonna ask. I also have a horse clue, which, I'm gonna actually start with that one first before we get
Okay.
to the police. But the horse clue, well, of course, it's Sagittarius, and here's where my bizarre clue comes from. This is, of course, you're looking at Sag, and this is part of the crime chart.
Oh, we
And
can't see the
oh,
chart
sorry.
yet. Thank you.
All right, there we go. And so
Wow.
there she is, and this is the crime chart with it, which is Sagittarius. There's so much Sag, so
Yeah.
that's why you might get horses. And remember how we saw in one of her texts, we saw the Sagittarius bow and arrow symbol.
Yeah.
So a lot of Sag there. So could there be a horse clue? Well, okay. So let me see here. Now, this is an example of a clue about it's actually a birth chart of a celebrity. And this is a lot of Sag, which would represent horses, would be prominent in this celebrity's life. You'd never know it, unless, of course, you watched Netflix documentaries like I do.
Yeah.
And so that part of that little stellium in Sagittarius is part of Sly Stallone's birth chart. And
Oh,
he was a polo player. He was an avid, his dad had horse ranches, so he was really big into horses. And so this is his progressed chart, and Neptune is sextiling this stellium in Sagittarius. And so he was filming horses, and he would film himself on horses, and because he was
uh-huh.
just trying to write scripts and he was really trying to get into the business. So he was very creative. So this is
Hmm.
just an example of why I
Hmm.
might get horses here. And so
Yeah.
here is okay. So that's the first thing I wanted to ask you is can we can we rely on this to tell us something that has to do with a horse?
Okay.
Weird question, I know, but I warned
Horse.
you.
Yeah. It's not the motive. Um, yes. I mean, this is someone shining a light on something and leading the way to the answers, to the clarity, to the enlightenment. So the answer in that strange question is a yes. It could lead us to something. That's a good clue. I would take that as yes, that's a good clue. And perhaps it has something to do with the names, right?
Yes, yes.
I mean, in fact, Stallone reminds me of Stallion, you know.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
you
amazing.
use that as the example. I thought that was interesting.
And let's see, caballo is horse, so something to think about.
Mhm.
All right, so we'll put that aside
Yeah.
for a second, and then what I wanted to show you too was yeah, okay, we've got the Sag here, and then we have oh, can you see it? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it. Now I'm looking at you've
Okay.
got horses, and then there's a square to Saturn, which is like dead horses,
Yeah.
which is terrible to say, but it's like it's like something that is, I mean, it's death. It has to do with it could be it could be a twin ranch,
Mm,
but the other thing too is that if the sun um, is, let's see here, what do I have the sun? Yeah, okay, so the sun is the victim in this crime chart. This is the November 8th chart when she lands in LAX.
yeah.
So where is she going from here? And remember, she's Scorpio. She
Right.
could feel betrayed. She could feel, you know, uh, Scorpio is sex,
Yeah. Yeah.
and here we go with the trine to Saturn. That's where she's going. That's where she's headed.
Yeah.
And this is Saturn. This is an old place.
Yeah.
Um, and it's by the sea. It could be an old city by the sea. There
Yeah.
might be something about history
Yeah.
where there has something to do with like, oh yeah, that town, well, that started out as a horse ranch, or it started out when
Yeah.
they had all these horses and then suddenly they all died, something from the past that might give us some kind of a clue there. So she's headed towards this old town by the sea, I think, and I
Mm.
wondered if you could give us maybe some kind of, confirmation about that.
Yeah. All of this Saturn energy too that I have as well with the Devil card, which is Saturn. Um,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see. You said the word camp, right? Camp.
Yes, there's a place called Campos that's, near Tijuana.
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's like another a leader, someone quite powerful, and it almost reminds me of like not a nudist camp, but like a encampment or a colony or what's the word? Compound.
Yeah,
Compound.
compound, compound.
Yes, of like rainbows and sunshine and happiness and joy and in a field. This actually does have water on the edge of it. Right here, you can't really tell it does have water right through here. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe some kind of a camp that is separate, it's, like, a little bit distant from the water
Hmm.
and maybe idealistic or something.
Yeah.
You don't think of these things when you think of sex trafficking. You think of, like,
Right.
everything's in the dark, underground,
Hmm.
and, but one of the things you said last time, and I think I got as well, was that she is lucky. There is luck on her
Yeah.
side.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Nora, Pisces healing techniques. What do you mean by that, Nora?
Mm.
Uh,
Well, this
yes.
is on the bottom too when she said healing the star card, and then it's a naked person by the water.
Yeah, there's nudity, there's
Nudity.
sex. It's like
Yes.
a nudist colony or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Let me see. Ample spark. That is exactly what I've been seeing, but in a forest setting near a beach. Big campfire in the middle. So yeah,
Mhm.
like a camp.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's where she's headed, and it's in the 8th house of sex.
Yeah.
So this is, let's see. It's funny because Saturn is something that is, because it's retrograde, it
Uh,
it is it's not great. It's
yeah.
kind of like might be rustic, might be, oh, it's a great place, but they don't have toilets or, something like
Right.
that.
Right.
And
Hmm.
let's see here. That also, remember, Pisces is blue, the word blue. So
Yeah.
there could be, and then with Scorpio, that's also black.
Yeah.
I know that's not helpful, but 4th house is negro. I mean, black
Yeah.
would be negro,
Yeah.
and fourth would be home.
Yeah.
So, something to also think about.
Yeah.
All right. Now, there's Sly. Here is her progressed chart, which I did,
Yeah.
and crazy how, and let me just make this a little bit bigger here. It's crazy how there's so much Uranus in her chart, or Aquarius. And Aquarius represents shocking things and also represents suicide. And so you can see Saturn representing dad is at 29 degrees and is in this T square. Now, it could be a big shock. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't believe that he actually committed suicide, but this would support it, that
Yeah.
that possibly he felt stuck. The nodes are right here. You just feel
Yeah.
so stuck that you need to get out of the situation, and you'll do anything to go
Yeah.
to any length.
Yeah.
You can also see, I'm not sure if this is rectified right, but if she was Mercury, she's in here too.
Yeah.
And she is, if this is her, it is, there's a sextile to This is the police here. A lot of police,
Mm,
lot of fire. Um, this stellium is super, super strong and shows foreign places, foreign people. And
yeah,
so here's a foreign woman, which is Venus, and then a lot of other people here behind her.
yeah,
And in the fifth house of camp. So,
yes.
so she
And
could be.
families.
And what's that?
And families, right? The
And
fifth
families.
house.
Yes.
Like a compound. When you
Hmm.
said that, I got chills.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. This is something. And by the way, I gave the example of Sarah Jessica Parker the other
Yeah,
day, of course, a Leo with Parker,
yeah.
uh, because there was a stellium in Virgo, and Uranus was in Virgo, and I had forgotten to say that Uranus means strange. So people look at her when she dresses Virgo, and
Yeah,
some people think, "Wow, she's a visionary," and others like, "Wow, if you want to wear a tutu on a
yeah,
bus, go for it," but it's a little weird.
yeah,
Well, this is like Aquarius is strange, and
right,
Uranus is strange. So weird people around
yeah.
that are part of this whole thing. But what's unsettling to me is that we have some squares here, and it all points to Chiron in
Ah,
wow. Chiron in the 12th house. This is hidden wounds, hidden tattoos, hidden branding. It's like branding. And 8
yes,
degrees is like sex. So some kind of sex branding, I mean, hopefully she's not anywhere near something like this,
yeah,
but I'm seeing 8, and I'm going to consider that
yeah.
that's the case. Could we get into any more detail about, um,
Mm,
this, a hidden sex cult? God, I hope it's not true.
yeah. It reminds me of the Elizabeth Smart kidnapping where she was and I actually thought about her, Hannah, having a disguise of some kind or change of look or wardrobe or something like that. And I keep seeing these long white robes in
Mhm.
everything, every card.
Oh, God.
Yeah, which is strange look, right? It's like they stand out. Magician in his robe,
Okay.
you know,
Hmm.
being, sort of this leader of manifestation and, follow me. And, it's very manipulative. It's not
Mhm.
the hermit, which is a spiritual guide that you follow and you grow and you're enlightened. The magician can be quite manipulative in all things in your life, your resources, your feelings, your emotions, like not just one single thing. Your physical
Mhm.
presence, very controlling can be what
Okay.
you'd see. Yeah.
Okay. Insights with Nora. Nora says Santa Muerte. I mentioned this cult on your last show, Mexico. Sorry, just remember that. Yeesh.
Oh,
Good one. And Nora, Chiron in the karmic 12th house seems that her misadventure might come full circle. Yeah, there's something she just felt like going off the beaten path, I guess.
yeah.
And thanks, Speech Butterfly. We just try to get these clues. Some of them are strange clues.
Yeah.
Interesting how in her progress chart, all of that Aquarius, and that represents astrology. So astrology was going to be, this, I
Yeah.
guess, drawn to this case. The
Yeah.
astrologers come. All right. So let me
Mhm.
just add this. And yeah, then let me see. Oh, the other thing too is she has Jupiter in Scorpio, and this is a mate who, you know,
Mm.
could be jealous, could betray her. Not talking about the guy who left. This could be another one, and it's just somebody who could be part of, this sex, and sex trafficking would be the second house, which is a lot of sex money.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Now, not saying it's the case, but we've got to look. We've got to take a look at it. Now this is November 12th. This is as she's crossing in is it San Ysidro? right in Tijuana, and it was at 12 o'clock. Hard to believe it was exactly 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
but that's what the police are saying.
Yeah.
And you can see that. So it's an Aquarius rising. So what are we going to do if we see Aquarius rising, which is the personality of this chart? It's the horoscope of this time as Hannah is walking across. Of course, Aquarius means cross, to cross or a crossing. And so there it is. And so we look for Uranus. And Uranus is in Taurus at 25, retrograde at 26 degrees. This is somebody who is affected by a devilish type of mindset. Third house is your mind.
Yeah.
And she's
Mm.
on a mission. She is on a mission. She's trying to get somewhere um, long distance, but
Yeah.
she can't. She can't get to that ninth house. That ninth house is
Yeah.
maybe flying somewhere. So she's going
Mm.
to go another route.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't have money. But the second house is coming up here, and the second house is money. So
Right.
she's not going to go long distance to the ninth house. She's going to go another way. She's going to
Yeah.
go through the second house. And is it possible she's thinking she might make some money?
Mm.
Well, Neptune in the second house is drug money.
Money. Yeah.
Yes, drugs. So it's drugs.
Mm.
And does that mean that she is involved? Not necessarily. It might mean that drug people who make money via drugs are helping her. Maybe she doesn't know that this is drug money, but they are somehow helping her.
Yeah.
And quote unquote. And why do I say they? Because we have a stellium, and usually with a stellium, it means a group of people,
Mhm.
a group of foreign people, because we have North Node, and North Node means foreign. The moon is a foreigner helps. There's an Aries type of profile to this.
Mm.
And the North Node also means a thug. So these are
Yeah.
thugs with guns that
Yeah.
are around her in her environment. But
Yeah.
what do? They hide. They're secret. There's. It just seems like there could be something nefarious there that is, for the moment, friendly to her,
Yeah.
which sounds crazy. But I don't like the idea of Uranus there in the third house. She is, because it's retrograde, the
Mm.
next the next step would be to keep going back instead of going forward.
Yeah.
If you're going to forward the chart. So retrograde means she goes up and then she
Back.
retreats. She goes back. And so that, to me, the third house could mean like an apartment. It
Mm.
could mean like um, maybe a high-rise apartment.
Mm.
Does that
Oh,
make sense?
yeah.
Are there any high-rise apartments? Things like that.
Potentially. Yeah. Depends on where she ends up.
Right.
Yeah.
Nora says, I don't know if she could get as far as Peru, but there are psychedelic tourists in Mexico and southwards. Okay. Yeah, so many people doing these personal retreats.
Yeah.
And yes, thanks, Angel. Angel, yeah, I mean, we don't necessarily predict. We rely on your help and the charts. So
Yeah.
really, the charts show us what to look for, and it
Yeah.
does look like she could be escape. Sometimes Uranus is escape, but sometimes it means to be independent. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to figure out what that means.
Yeah.
And Beach Butterfly, you said, oh, wow, no. Anything drug, sex, drug money, outcome scary. They are saying she has no phone. Maybe she has a burner phone. Yeah. That's there are just too many things that are huge red flags.
Yeah.
Leaving the country with no phone, and all of these texts that just don't sound like her. You really get the true story many times through the family. They know what she's done before. They know
Right.
what she's capable of, and
Yeah.
this is not normal for her, according to the family. Peru for an ayahuasca trip. Yeah. Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah.
She definitely is in some kind of, whether it's a dreamland or some type of an influence, I think.
Yeah. When you have Mercury there, and then you said Neptune and drugs, and the card that came with this, you know, creator is the Seven of Cups. And often this is, brainwashing or not being of your right mind. It's Neptune energy. It's being, clouded, can't see clearly, can't make good decisions. And it's like being powered by some kind of Mercury energy with the Magician.
Yeah. Yet there's still this, from what I'm seeing, this kind of a male figure. I don't know if it's a person that's on her mind or
Yeah.
who she was talking to. Somebody says, "Meet me down here." This person is lying to her.
Mhm.
And we saw a lot of women, we saw an older woman, but
Yeah.
it does seem like there is that twin flame energy that still could apply here.
Yeah.
And ample spark. What about money? She'd need a fair bit on her to disappear for a long period of time, right? Where did that come
Mhm.
from? Yeah, and this could be promises that are being made to her saying, "Don't worry about it. We've got you.
Right.
We've got all the money you need."
Yeah.
And Angel seems like she's going through it, and missing the plane was a straw breaking the camel's back. Yeah,
Mhm.
moment. And
Did you also hear or read that they believe, the police, whether this is true or not, that she did intentionally miss her connection, that it wasn't
I did.
on
Yeah.
accident? I wonder if that's the
Yeah.
case.
Um, I think that, yeah, maybe she didn't want to take, because I guess, was she on the plane with her ex? It sounds
Yeah.
like that's the case. So
Yeah.
if it were me, I'd want to get out of there too.
Yes. Yes.
I would
Yeah.
not want to be on that second leg.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shawnee said, "Oh my gosh, Florence Casse, Mexico, of belonging to the kidnapping game Los Zodiacs, a sex traffic ranch in Mexico City. She was a madam from France who came to Mexico with a brother." Wow.
Wow.
So
That is a
that would
crazy
be
clue.
that is a crazy clue. All right, I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah.
Florence Casse. We gotta be careful
And
because
that Aquarius clue, like you said, is astrology. Those zodiacs. Hmm.
whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so she was convicted though in Mexico. But wait till you see this. Can you see that?
Not yet.
Hold on. Wow.
Redhead. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy? Now, keeping in mind, she's not going to be involved because, where did I put her? Yeah, because she belonged to a kidnapping gang, Los Zodiacos, and
Wow.
a whole kidnapping scandal. And okay, French woman, which would be Leo, fifth house.
Mm.
She received a 60-year sentence for the crimes of kidnapping, organized crime, and illegal possession of firearms. All right, so that was a while back,
Wow.
but
Twin theme copycat.
twin theme copycat, and she was released from prison. So,
Oh.
and her conviction was overturned.
Oh wow.
Something to think about. Something to think about. Of course, we're not saying
Mhm.
anything or pointing any fingers, but could be a twin to somebody like Florence. Oh my God.
Yes, wait.
What?
That
Flo. Remember?
yes.
Toy got Flo.
Yes.
That was the last show.
That was. Yeah.
That's wild.
Chills. I've never heard of
That's
that either.
that is nuts. Okay. All
Mhm.
right then. Now let me get back to, hang on one
Mhm.
second. Where did it go? Okay, here it is. So, yeah, there is the devil at work here. And remember, this is a person who is, if Uranus is on that algol energy, this is going to be someone who loses their head,
Yeah.
and they're not thinking correctly. They are, let's think about this here. We have Neptune at 28 degrees. This is right on
Mm.
sheet. This is a tragedy.
Mm.
Then we have, so it's a dangerous degree. However, because the planet retrograde, which is weak, the person is weak for some reason.
Yeah.
She's heading she is heading into an old place because she's either going this way or she's going that way. It's almost like she has a choice,
Mm,
and she could go one way or the other. Now, Pluto in Capricorn would be a very old, old foreign city
mm,
or an old foreign place with a lot of,
yeah.
ancient history.
Yeah.
So we'll have to take a look at that, see what that is. So we're going to go to location clues next.
Mm,
And here's my guide for the location. So I tried some Scorpio, looking at the fact that she's in Mexico.
yeah.
And, we're going to look south, which would be these,
Yes.
signs. You can't use all of them because, they go out to, Catalina Island or they go out into the Pacific. So there's really only Leo, I think, to look at here. And I'm going
Mm,
to show you more in a second. Now, let's see. How did I do this? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this scribble map and hopefully you can see that.
yes.
And so this is in the direction of Leo.
Yeah.
And what is near Leo here? Well, I mean, it's not really near that line, but there's Campo here. There's also
Mm,
she's coming through here.
yeah.
There's a road that is called it's like something I think she might be going east as she goes
Yeah.
south. But there's also these old towns here too
Along the coast.
along the coast.
Yeah.
So, we'll have to look a little bit more closely at that. Let me get back to this chart here. So this is the crime chart, and this would be what we would look at. We would go to Leo because it's the ascendant, it's the chart ruler. And so what you would do is you would go back to Leo 120
Mhm.
and you just add 1. So it's 121, and that's how I got that line there.
Ah,
And but you could another thing that I've often done with this is do a few points because it's
yeah.
sometimes the one next to it. Now, my question is, could I ask you, are we on the right track with the Leo direction?
Mhm. Well, before you asked that, I pulled a card about her location, and that Queen of Wands, that redheaded Queen of Wands came out. And that is Leo. Let's see. Are we on the right track? Yes. This is a Leo card. Again, a fire sign. Leo rules the Six of Wands and it's victory.
Okay. So Leo is a park, it's a place that has a peak, it's a place that's a camp, it's a campground.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if we can I'm like, does Mexico allow Google Maps to go in there and look? Let me see. I've never
Oh,
done that before.
yeah.
All
To
right.
do the walkabout
Yeah, let's
in the
do the
map.
walkabout. Let's see. So San Isidro Crossing. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. And all right, here it is. Let me just share it. One
Yeah.
second. Come on now. Hang on. Maps. Okay, and I'm going to share this. Okay, so here's where she crosses. And you can see that?
Yes. No.
No. Okay, hold on. Oh, shoot. All right.
There. Got it.
Uh okay. Now, so she's over here. So where does she go next? That's the question. And maybe she is getting picked up by somebody. There is it would seem as if it's going to be Leo, she's going to go east towards that Leo line.
Yeah.
And here's what's that?
I was thinking, I mean, the interesting thing from LA to Tijuana to the border is a 2.5 hour drive, and they have no information. There's no, how did she get there? On her 2 feet? Just walk for days
I
and
know. I know.
sleeping where and I just can't envision that she was solo to get to
Mhm.
this point. So certainly
Yes.
I I don't feel that she was by herself on that initial journey to the border. Even though she was seen on CCTV alone,
Mhm.
maybe it's you go ahead and then I'll go through. We,
Yep.
can't be seen together, something like that.
Right. Yes. Sorry, Shauna. That was you saying that the other night. And in the last show, you were hearing Florence or Flo. So somebody like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
let's see. We've got Susie, evolutionary trauma informed astrology and tarot. Nice to see
ooh,
you.
nice.
And Anne, that's right. She did take the bus. Thank
Wow.
you, Anne.
Okay.
She took the bus. So where is she going to take the bus? And
Hmm.
um, let me see. Yeah, cops have dropped the ball as usual. Her family are concerned. They need to listen to them. Yeah, I mean that is unbelievable that they. I mean, maybe there's just rules that they can't have an investigation, but
Yeah.
they've got to be doing something. I mean, that would just be irresponsible.
Yeah.
Now, let me go back to this. And so she took the bus. Where the hell did she take the bus to? She certainly seems like she's on a mission.
Yeah.
And and if the cards say that she's going to get close to the Leo area,
Yeah.
there are ranches. I guess that would be like Campo, or camps.
Yeah.
Uh, Villa del Campo,
And what was the word for horse?
Cabello, I think.
Caballo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, okay,
Hmm.
that's a good idea. Let me see if I can get some kind of like direction here.
Yeah.
So, all right, hang on one second. Google Maps, crossing, and then it's not letting me put in another
Mm.
address. That's weird. Okay, so I guess I got to press that. Okay, directions, and then what was I going to put in?
Horse or
Cabello. Um, oh, I guess Cabello and Mexico.
yeah.
Okay, so Cabello Marisa Lucio Cabañas. Let's
Mm.
see. Let's see if that's east.
Ooh,
Oh, God. That
that's
is definitely
very far.
that's very far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be too far. Do
Wow.
you know what? Can I ask you this? It doesn't seem like she's that far from what I'm looking at
Yeah.
with the crime chart, but can I ask the cards, did she go far?
Okay. No. Oh, wow. This is very slow. So this is baby steps, little
Okay,
bit by little bit by little bit. It's
interesting.
definitely not moving quickly.
And you got that up right?
Yes, upright.
Okay. Okay. So interesting, yet you think it's a no. So it's slow going, but maybe slow going in a long distance direction.
Good, but I
Yeah,
feel like she's still close.
she's still
She hasn't
close.
gone that far right now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good one, Toy. You said the horse again. Yeah.
Yeah. A
Yes.
black
Okay.
horse in this one.
Oh, Shauna, thank you for inviting your mentors over. Very slow pentacles. Thank you. Okay. Hey, Jen Jen. Nice to see you. And all right. So she took the bus. If she took it east, all right, let me add this again. We just need a few more clues. Actually, let me go back to the chart again. Go over here. And it's so weird how the chart, this is the crime chart if you're just joining us. When you have a chart that just starts, like, I mean, it's pretty early on in early stages. It's almost as if it's very weak at
Yeah.
this point. And okay, let me see. I just have to hold on, turn on the pen. Erase. All right. So Leo is so big. Leo is a peak. It is a mountain. It's someplace that is extremely sunny. Now, of course, this is Los Angeles too. It's going on vacation,
Yeah.
but the vacation is stuck. You can see how there's a T square here. The vacation is not going to work. This is part of fortune up here. This is no.
Yeah.
But what might also give us a clue is the fact that it's in Taurus, which can show money. There's not much money that she has. It's kind of stuck. And
Hmm.
okay, so let's look at the second house here, which is in Leo.
Yeah.
And that's also going to inform us about the money situation. And so we have the sun in Scorpio, which would show like sex money,
Yeah.
sex trafficking.
Yeah.
And a square to the moon would be
Mm.
this is trying to get somewhere and can't. The moon is a home.
Yeah.
It's a weird home. It is a foreign home. She can't get there. She has trouble. She can't do it. So she's got to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I think there might be some kind of a change there with her. I mean, there already obviously was a change to her plan, but again, more changes, especially with Mercury retrograde. It's not
Yeah.
smooth. It's definitely not smooth.
Yeah.
So the other thing too, I wanted to talk about was the police and if they're able to get to her.
Yeah.
Which one did I want to use here? I think, yeah, okay. I think this is the one that I wanted to use.
Yeah.
This is when she's crossing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that the police are here in the sixth house, and there's a trine to Neptune here. It seems like they know where she's going. They are headed to the place she is going.
Wow.
Here you could see Mars goes here
Mm-hmm.
and she's going there. They're going to the same place.
Yeah.
And it almost seems as if there's a couple of different, because there's two different trines.
Yeah.
There's like the foreign police, North Node, trine Mars is foreign police.
Right.
So I think the police are doing something. I really do. I'm
Yeah.
not outraged anymore when I look at this, but it does seem like they're going to meet up in the same place.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us when they do meet up in the same place? What do you think is going to happen?
Let's see. Mm. Oh my goodness. It's probably not going to be super smooth to actually get to one another. This in reverse seems like it's like they just miss each other, but they do connect because the next three cards, I'm a little bit speechless with that star card, the sun, and I mean it feels like a rescue, like a very happy rescue, like a relief, like wished for it, hoped for it, thank goodness, reunion, family. I don't know.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think, that there's hope. There's hope with this case.
Yeah.
Can you tell me? I'm also seeing something, and not only do I see it in the chart, but when you were talking about Elizabeth Smart, where they were putting her in a robe and putting her in a disguise, is there, according to you, a disguise involved?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. This card doesn't tell me it's a yes card, but I'm actually getting very little from it. I'm actually having more of the feeling of being in a robe, like a single piece, or nothing.
Okay.
I had another card that actually came out, and I didn't realize that it came out, and I noticed it when you were saying the word change multiple times, and then I looked down, I went, when did this come out? And it's the change card, and it's another naked woman with dark hair.
It's shocking. And that to me says, with her progress chart, with all that shock, this is, let's think about this. People are going to be shocked from this.
Yeah,
They are going to be shocked. And
yeah.
let me think. Also, it represents airports.
Mm.
So, Aquarius is an airport. Could you tell me if there is an airport involved?
I don't know. Is there an airport near the water
I
in
don't
that
know. I'll have to
area?
check. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Or two. Yeah, there's heavy water energy. So if it is, they're both a yes card, but there's such heavy water, and obviously the Ace of Cups is a lot of overflowing water. Yeah, and this is actually an Aquarius card, which is airports.
Wow. That is amazing.
By the
Okay.
way, I don't know. I don't know where the airport.
Susie says, I feel dirty money.
Okay.
Uh, Angel says, is she definitely being taken against her will, in your opinion, or is she trying to escape to a new life? Could be a little bit of both. Could be that she is just under the influence of something right
Yeah,
now. I
yeah,
mean, she is willingly going over. But somebody is just, it could be some kind of elaborate uh, deception where a man says, hey, just, you know what? You would love to come over to such and such. Just come over for the week and then we'll get you a ticket back to New York. And maybe she thinks, well, my family's never going to understand. But it's pretty shocking that
yeah,
with all that happened, there's basically a manhunt for her.
yeah.
Here's what I would like to know. Does she know that there is a hunt for her?
Mm, yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The other question I asked earlier, and I think I already put the card away, was I asked if she knew about her dad.
Yes.
And do you know the card that came out was the Tower? Hmm.
So that to me, I mean, if I thought about that, it would be like it would be devastating for her.
Yeah,
It would be a huge change and maybe something where she just, I mean, for anybody, they would want to run back.
yeah,
But it might be too late for her to do that, where
hmm,
she's doing something and then I don't know. It's hard to tell because does she know Spanish? All of these things you need to know in order to figure out how informed she is. But it
yeah.
seems like she's informed.
It would be interesting to see the case that, and I'll have to do my Google homework, or the chat is so good at this. There's a case from a while ago where very similar circumstances, and a young lady was drawn into this by a man, and she forever was gone with this group. Her family was convinced it was, trafficking, and I have to look it up. The chat might know what I'm talking about. It was a long time ago, but she
Okay.
lived out her life. And I'd be curious to see the comparison of
We should do
energies,
that. We should
art.
do that. Okay.
I will find out.
We'll do that, and then we'll also
Yeah,
look at her new birth chart the next time we
yeah,
meet
yeah.
and try to get an idea. Maybe I can rectify it a little bit. I think she might be a Sag rising. She's
Mm.
5'10".
Oh,
So
yeah,
I mean, that would be Sag or maybe Leo.
yeah,
But yeah, so it's hard to believe. I mean, she's got control to some extent, I think, because of her size. I know somebody's going to say that that's a terrible thing to say because,
yeah.
if you're drugged, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But you would think that,
Yeah,
she's no slouch. She can defend herself in certain situations.
yeah. But if she's mentally vulnerable,
Yep.
that's
That's the
that's the
thing.
hard part. Yeah,
That's what changes the whole game. So,
yeah,
all
for sure.
right.
Yeah.
And Yeah, you think, Sag rising, definitely a traveler.
Yep.
Mhm. Lots of travel for her, and let's see. Yeah, she is she's beautiful, so that is cause for concern, I think. So, thank you all for joining us tonight, and, remember to look in the description box for more information about Amber, and if you wanna book a reading, and, we'll be on again for a part 4 to just try to get some more clues, and we'll see what comes out this week. So, thanks again, Amber.
Thank you.